If you open up a new part, this time we're going to create a brand new part. So we've already opened up a new sketch on the XY plane, and we're going to create a shape. So we're going to create a rectangle. I'm going to click somewhere up here in the top left of the rectangle and come down to the right, bottom right. I'm not going to add dimensions in at this point. I'm going to get the shape to move in the way that I want it. In other words, if I adjusted the shapes and sizes, it moves and changes in the way that I want it to and not how it wants to. So I'm going to just click down here. As you can see, it's brought up these constraints, so parallel, horizontal, perpendicular. I'm finished with the rectangle command, so I'm going to click OK. And now if I click on a line or on a corner, I can move the part and it's just floating around. What I want to do now is set some constraints, so when I do move or set a dimension, the part moves, this shape moves in the way that I want it to. So up here we've got the constraint box. First one I'm going to pick is vertical, and what I want is the center point and the midpoint of this line, so just waft up and down, you'll find that to be above each other. So now when I move the side, the opposite side moves as well. I get symmetry, and that's because that center point of this line is above there. And I do the same horizontally. I've just clicked on the background to deselect that line to clear it. I'm going to horizontally constrain the center point and the midpoint of that line. Right click OK, and now not only does it move up and down symmetrically, it moves horizontally as well. Again, if I grab the corner, it will do both. So now I've constrained the shape the way I want it. Now I can add the sizes. So I hit dimension, click on the line once, come up, put the dimension box down, and I can edit that 80. I can either hit enter because I was on the keyboard, or click, and then I can do the side 120, enter, and it's all disappeared off now. So I'll just double click to zoom out. It's now fully constrained here, so in other words, the geometry is set, the size is now set. It won't move now unless I force it to. Okay, so that's the sketching part, the 2D part done. So I'm going to hit finish sketch. Now I'm ready to turn this 2D sketch into a 3D shape. I'm going to use the extrude command, which I can either select from up here, or I can click on a part of the geometry and then click extrude. I've got two boxes, sort of the more advanced box, so I'll just minimize there, or the sort of quick entry. Both do the same. Okay, so at the moment it's extruding, it is as a solid, it's adding, and at the moment it's going in one direction 10mm up, but I could change it to 10mm down, 5mm either side, so in other words equal or asymmetrical, and I can get two values, but the two values do appear in this box over here. So I'm going 10mm up, 5mm down. Over here I'll just click on that one to get the other side. I want it to go 10mm up. Because Inventor can only see one shape, one what we call closed profile, it's automatically selected it, and because there is no other solid features there, it is going to add to the profile rather than cut away. So I'm just going to accept that. The next stage is going to fillet these corners. Now I can either click to start by pressing Control, or I can start the command, then select the corners. Now I should accidentally click the wrong one. I can control click to remove it. And now we can change it, the value, so we've got 15, or you can drag this arrow in and out. But let's set it back to 15 and hit OK. So now all we're doing is making a modification to the solid. That's these ones here, so we don't have to draw anything. We can just click fill it. The next command is the hole command. Now this one we could create a sketch and put hole centers on, or we can just jump straight in and place the holes ourselves. So first of all, in terms of placement, there's a few options here. So that's the one from sketch. We're going to just show you these two here. So the first one is linear. In other words, we're going to give some dimensions to where this hole is going to be. So Inventor is already trying to help you along. So this one's already selected. They're red to show you that we need to put something in. So we click on the face, we want to put the hole. Now it's already dropped down, so we pick on one edge and then it asks us for a size. Don't hit enter here, or what actually happens is you close the box. Just move on to the next reference edge. We'll type 15 in there. Now we can choose what sort of hole we want. In this case, we're just going to create a 10mm hole that goes all the way through our part. We're going to create two like this, so we don't hit OK now, hit apply. It remembers those settings, and we can just go and pick face, pick our first reference edge. We can type 15, or we click this arrow because we've typed it before, it's remembered it. And apply. Now, this time I'm just going to show you concentric. So the input boxes have just slightly changed again, where we're going to click the face. Then this time it's asking us for the concentric reference. In other words, it's going to put this hole on the center point of something round. So we're going to pick this one up here. Now we can pick the face or the line at the edge. 10mm again, apply, and repeat over here. And this time I did click OK because I've finished. So we've now got 4 holes. So the difference between the ones we created by linear and the one we created by concentric will only show up when we start to change the original geometry. So if I now adjust these to 30, these ones, because we reference them from the straight edge, stay the same. These ones, because we reference them from the radius, have now changed. So this is what I mean about the geometry being more important than the size. It depends on what you want to do. So I'm just going to put those back to 15. The next stage is going to create a slot here in the middle, and this we do need to draw. So we can create a new 2D sketch, or we can click on this face and create new sketch. So again, it spins round, double click to zoom out. Now what we want is a slot, and we can do it center points, or we can do it, we'll just do it by center. Now I always find it easier to draw the slot and then position it where I want it to be. So in this case, because our slot is of a set size, I'm going to add them in, and then the radius is 10, and then I'm going to use this command to place the slot. And at any point, if I want to change anything, I can jump back in and change those details there. So finish the sketch, and now I want to cut this shape away, so I'm going to click extrude. It's found the last one I did, the last sketch I did, but I don't want to add. What I want to do is cut, so automatically it's changed that. At the moment it's going 10mm, but I want this to be all the way through rather than 10mm, so I'll just pick through all. And accept that. And that is my part finished. So all we need to do now is save it. Like I said, stuff that you enter at this stage will end up on the drawing, so don't just save it as part 1. Let's call it plate. It's already in the right place, so you don't need to change anything here. Projects does that, remember. Save and finished.